Welcome back to Psychology of the Parsha for Parshat Chukat. Chukat speaks about the red heifer, this special process in which a Kohen, a priest, would take the ashes of this red cow and mix it with water, coming from a live stream of water, and sprinkle it on one that has become ritually impure by means of contact with a dead body. Now, the reason why this is called Chukat, we know, which Chukat means a statute, meaning it fits into the category of those mitzvot which we do not have any understanding of. In other words, the human mind cannot tolerate it, cannot fully understand it, cannot wrap its mind around it. The reason why it's called a chok, and this is the quintessential chok, as the Torah says, Zot Chukat Torah. This mitzvah is the ultimate chukah of the Torah. The reason for it is because we find something very interesting. That the Kohen, this kind individual, this holy spiritual man or men, that are ready to take from their time, to submit themselves to helping bring purity to another, this process makes that recipient pure, but they themselves become impure and have to go through their own, quite less of a severe process as this one, but their own purification process, namely going to the mikvah and waiting out the entire day and so on. This is something which doesn't make sense, but it is a fact. This is the way it is. And actually, although we don't know why it should be this way, but I could certainly tell you that it is the most rewarding way to live. Namely, giving from yourself, sacrificing from your own well-being, not only your comfort, not only your luxuries, but also from the most fundamental thing, even from your spiritual purity, in order to give to someone else, in order to help another. And therefore, it's by no coincidence that later on in this Parsha, we learn about the passing of Aaron. Aaron, the high priest. When Aaron, the high priest, passed away, the Torah tells us something very interesting. It says, "Vayifku oto kol bet Yisrael 30 yom." And the entire house of Israel cried for him for 30 days. An entire mourning period, they cried and cried and cried. Now we know the rule, that whatever it says the house of Israel, it's referring to not only the men, not only people over the age of bar or bat mitzvah, but men, women, and children, everyone, the house, whatever makes up a house. When it says Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel, that may be referring to just the men over bar mitzvah. In this case, the Torah makes it a point to share with us this fact, that the entire house of Israel cried for him. And not in any way does this take away from the greatness of Moses, because this didn't even happen for Moses, the ultimate Jewish leader, the one who took him out of Egypt, the one who led him through the desert, the one who conquered already the first parcels of land for the land of Israel and showed them tremendous miracles. When he passed away, it just says, the Bnei Yisrael cried for him. Why the difference? Sages tell us that Aaron went out of his way to bring peace between one brother and another, between one person and his friend or ex-friend, between husband and wife, between father and son, between mother and daughter. What does that mean he went to bring peace? What, he had an office where people came to him when they had problems? That's not the case. Aaron actually would go out there and mingle with the people. And Aaron would find out when he saw that some people have a quarrel. He would try to find out who it is, who the parties are. And go over to one and say, listen, I hear you have an issue with him. Oh, yeah. But, how about if you knew that he's ready to make amends? He's ready to sit down and talk. He's ready to apologize. Would you be willing to talk to him? Of course. Or, yeah. Immediately, armed with that, Aaron would run to the other party and say, listen, he wants to sit down and talk to you. And that way he would bring people together. People who haven't spoken to each other. People who were in an absolute fight with each other. He would bring them close together. How many children were born because father and mother came together as a result of Aaron's work? And I want you to think for a moment. What kind of sacrifice this man, this holy man, had to give? What spiritual loss he had to endure in order to do this? I think it's almost quite easy to imagine that the people who are capable of quarreling on that level were most likely not the most refined of Jews, not the holiest to say the least. What is Aaron, the high priest, doing in the first place? And for your information, when Aaron wants to leave the holiest quarters where he's meant to be, and he enjoys the greatest spiritual glamour, he has to remove his priestly garments. He has to put on ordinary garments. He's now subjecting himself to be like a simpleton. And certainly with taking off those physical garments, he's also removing spiritual layers from himself. All to do what? To help a Jew out there, somebody who's millions of levels beneath him, to help him or her, to help them get back together and make peace. But look at the reward. Every single person, every single Jew felt like they lost either a friend or like almost an uncle, a surrogate parent, a surrogate big brother when Aaron passed away. Even Moshe, who did so much for the Jewish people, and certainly they were all thankful for it, even he didn't get that personal outburst of mourning that each and every single Jew felt. Men, women, children, even little children, who knew that their existence is perhaps thanks to the fact that Aaron left and sacrificed from his holiness in order to help them. That is where these two connect, and that's why they appear in the same Parsha. And I think the lesson is obvious. Shabbat Shalom.